Transmitting live from the Asylum Studios, deep in the bowels of Southwest Texas. It's the Joe Rooz Show. The show where we talk about anything and everything. Where nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, and nothing is PC.
All righty. Hey, folks, this is Joe Rooz. It is great to be with you once again, transmitting live at the Asylum Studios from the Pimple on the backside of Texas, the beautiful city of Eagle Pass, and doing the very best that we can to bring you the best quality talk radio we could muster without all the bluster. Welcome to the Joe Rooz Show. Hey, folks, it's, I think it's Monday. I lost track this week. It's been one of those weeks already, and it's Monday. You can only imagine what the rest of the week is going to have for us. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you were able to catch the show yesterday for our Sunday Bible study show. This was always a lot of fun. Yesterday we talked about the dispensation of innocence, which was a very interesting study. So I hope you guys were able to catch that. Had a lot of fun with it. And we'll be continuing on with that later next Sunday. And we have quite the show for you tonight. We have two guests waiting in the wings for us. We're going to bring on our first guest here momentarily. He's got to do some usual housekeeping. And then our second guest is sitting here watching over my shoulder to make sure that I do what I told him I'm going to do. So we'll introduce him momentarily. But, folks, the show tonight is brought to you, first of all, by podhome.fm. Podhome is my audio host platform, so you need to check them out there. It's a great platform. Podhome is the easiest, most modern podcast host platform there is. You can use Podhome to publish your episodes, enhance your audio, automatically generate transcripts, chapters, titles, show notes, and more. And you know what? You can even podcast live. That's right. You can podcast live across the modern Podcast 2.0 apps that are out there, like Fountain.fm and Podcast Guru and TrueFans.fm, Podverse, Pocket Cast, all those great modern 2.0 apps. Fantastic. You need to check those things out so you can listen to the shows live. And you also can get a beautiful web browser, web player for your website so that you could listen to the show live on a website. And if you don't have a website, hey, Podhome will provide that to you as well. You have everything that you need for one affordable monthly subscription of $15.99 a month. That's $15.99 a month. So you need to check it out. And if you go today and you sign up today, you will get 30 days absolutely free. So just head over to podhome.fm. That's podhome.fm. All right. Now, also, you need to check out our new sponsor, TNE Energy. TNE Energy is the place to go for the essentials like electricity. You need electricity. And TNE Energy helps make electricity affordable and personal. There are over 1 million customers across the U.S. that trust to power their homes and earn free energy for referring their friends and family as well. So you need to head over to tneenergy.myambit.com and explore all the options that are available to you. The link is right up there on the, it should be up on your screen. And check them out. Check them out. Visit tneenergy.com or tneenergy.myambit.com and see what current offers are available for your home today. Try them out. Check them out. And like I said, the boss is sitting right over there, so got to make sure I said it right. All right. Now, also, folks, please don't forget to head over to our website, joerooz.com. Links up there on the screen. And head over to our contact section. Open up that little web form there and send us over a message. Let us know whatever's on your heart, whatever's on your mind, any questions, comments, cares, concerns, any issues, any complaints. Or actually, just keep the complaints to yourself. But if you have any suggestions for a guest or a particular topic you'd like to discuss, let us know. We'd like to hear from you guys. If you don't want to use the website, fine, email me directly, info@joerooz.com. That's info@joerooz.com. And, well, here's actually a novel idea, too. You could actually use that comment section that's somewhere down over there. That's always fun. So try it out. Use it. Let us know what you think. And love to hear from you guys. All right. Also, while you're on the website, look for the support button on our website. And when you get there, just take a look around. If you're able to do it, you have the means to do it. Just remember that this is a value for value show. When you can, I just got distracted there for a second. I'm sorry. It's a value for value show. So all that basically means is that if you are receiving anything of value from what we're putting out here, we're asking that you return that value to us in the form of a donation. And that could be your time, your talent, your treasure. And I'm going to lay all of that stuff out to you at the end of the show like we always do. All right, last thing I got to push, and I hate to do this. It drives me absolutely crazy to do it because I hate taxes. But because of taxes, we have a little issue here at the asylum. So there's a GoFundMe that we have set up. So if you're able to help us out with a donation to clear up this escrow shortage that we have because of very, very increased taxes, we would really appreciate that. We have until the end of this week to come up with a lump sum of $2,800 to clear up this escrow shortage. Otherwise, payments are going to go up very, very high. So and it might actually impact how we're doing the show. So let us, if you can, click the link in the notes below, or you can click or scan the QR code right up top there. Again, all donations that we receive this entire month so far are all being funneled into this account so we could fix this escrow problem that we have. All right, so anything you can do, we appreciate it. As always, thank you very much. All right, now tonight's guest is Ruby. Oh, I got to turn that off. I forgot. Sorry. Let me fix that really quick. There. Now tonight's guest is Ruby Ryba, a screen time strategist, which is interesting. I've never heard of that one. And for the profile, I said I need to talk to this young lady to find out what this is all about. She's also an author, a coach who helps people build intentional digital habits that actually work for their lives. She's a former high school math teacher turned digital wellness advocate. Ruby blends behavioral science, storytelling, and practical tools to guide people in reclaiming their time and attention. Currently, she's writing her first book, How to Stop Scrolling, which empowers readers to take control of their phone through self-awareness, boundaries, and meaningful alternatives. Her work is rooted in the belief that anyone can change their relationship with their phone if they're intentional, reflective, and willing to set boundaries with the virtual world. Ruby, welcome to the show. It's great to have you.
Hey, Joe. Thanks so much for having me tonight.
It's a pleasure. It truly is. Let me turn the banner off there. All right. Well, so a screen time strategist. That's interesting. We're going to get into that in a second. I have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask every guest when we first start the show. I don't know if you've had a chance to check any of my shows out, so you might be prepared for this or not. I don't know. But the first question is, what is something that most people don't know about you but should?
Something that most people don't know about me. I don't think it's too apparent that I am always questioning the status quo. So maybe that's something that kind of leads into a lot of my thoughts and ideas. So I'm always questioning the status quo.
All right. And your go-to beverage to help you unwind at the end of the day?
Ooh, probably like a mint tea with honey.
Mm, that's good. That's good. I like
Yeah.
that. Actually, I'm trying to wean myself off of coffee. I'm doing better. I'm doing a
Ooh,
lot better.
okay. That's hard.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm used to doing like two 64-ounce coffees every day.
Yeah. No, I can't
Uh,
give up the caffeine. That's too hard.
yeah, no, I'm not giving it up altogether. No, I need
Right.
it,
Okay.
but,
Fair.
but
Fair.
weaning myself down from that. So this is number 3 today. So
Okay.
I'm very
Okay.
proud of myself. But what I've substituted it with, though, speaking of teas, I've
Mhm.
substituting it with some green tea
Yep.
with raw organic honey and fresh lime. It is
Nice.
absolutely amazing. It's great. The
Great
only
for your
reason
health too.
Oh, yeah. The only reason why I'm not doing it is I ran out, so I thought I still had some in the fridge, but in the cabinet, but I don't. But, so that's great. So, man, I never thought I would say I would love tea, but I love tea. So, well, Ruby, you describe yourself as a screen time strategist. What exactly does that mean, and how did you find your way into that particular field?
Yeah, that's really the best way that I could put it. I've never heard of the term either. I just came up with it myself because I felt like it best described what I do. I've thought about technology, what the trade-offs are, as early as when Facebook was coming out in like 2007, 2008. It just always seemed so addictive. There always just seemed to be a little bit of danger. Whenever
Mhm.
something feels too good to be true, it is, they say, right? And so it's always just something that I've paid attention to. But recently, with in the past decade or so, this has just really accelerated, what we saw 20 years ago. And I felt more urgency to almost crack this. I felt like there must be a way that this can be solved, if you will, or best practices.
Mhm.
I majored in statistics. I'm always kind of looking for procedures, operating procedures, and I felt like this is solvable, this is hackable. And so I really started thinking about it. And then that just turned into me helping others with this issue because it's something that I was so passionate about that it kept coming up in conversations at dinner or whatever, where people would be talking about something that their phone was doing. And then I could say, oh, well, have you ever considered blah, 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 blah? Because this is what I think about all the time. And they'd come back to me and say, this is really useful. So when I started to realize that my interests were helping and serving others, that got me started to think about coaching people, writing this book, etc.
All right. Well, you actually answered my next question, so we're going to skip on ahead. All right. So let's talk about the book then, since you mentioned it. So you're working on writing this book, How to Stop Scrolling. At what point did you decide that you needed to write the book?
I can tell you, I can't remember the exact date, but I can remember what happened. I was in St. Louis. I was visiting a friend for the weekend, and I woke up early that day because I have small children, so I will always wake up early. And the other people did not have small children, so they were all sleeping in. So I said, okay, let me take a walk. So I took a walk. I went to get coffee, and as I always do, as much as possible, I'm intentionally trying to not use my phone if I don't need it. We all seem to have this gravitational pull towards pulling it out. But when I notice that, I try to ignore it. So I went to go get my coffee. And as I'm walking out of the coffee shop, I see across the street the store. And it was called Provisions. And it just looked lovely. It had interesting books. It had interesting like trinkets and pillows. And I thought that is a store that I want to go to later. And so later on after lunch, I said, there's a store I want to go to. We went there. I met the owners. I looked at the books. It was as expected, or maybe even better than expected, just a very fascinating shop. If I had been on my phone when I was walking out of the coffee shop, I would not have seen that store. I never would have gone to it later with my friends, and we would have missed out on that opportunity. And so that just put so concretely to me how your universe, your life can kind of split off into alternate realities based on what you do. And it just showed me so concretely what the loss could have been that day if I had been staring at my phone, looking at nothing of particular value when I was heading out of that coffee shop. So that was the moment that I decided, okay, this is important enough that I want to turn it into a book.
Well, that's great. I recently,
Mhm.
I had one of those eye-opening moments myself,
Mhm.
and I decided that I spend way too much time in front of a screen. I spend way too much time in front of a computer, my job, doing the show, and with the phone, always in constant communication. So what I started to do now is on the weekends from Friday night until Sunday morning, I shut the phone off. I turn on Do Not Disturb, and I just put it to the side and leave it there. And then I'll check, because unfortunately my job requires me to be on call 24/7. So my regular job. So I'll check it periodically, but I'm not getting the constant alerts and notifications and things like that that's drawing me to the phone. So I just find my way over at some point. But it's really very important, though, because like you said, you miss out on so many things. Since I've been doing the Do Not Disturb thing on the Friday to Saturday nights or Sunday mornings, I find I have more time in the day to do the things that I really need to do, or the things that I really want to do. And I don't have that constant interruption. So I agree with you on that. Now, your book blends behavioral science and storytelling. How do the two elements work together to help people make lasting change?
Well, I think just as we were doing right now, by sharing what I've personally gone through or people that I've worked with have personally gone through, it helps the reader feel understood and heard and not alone. I think there's almost this stigma about screen time where we want to claim that we are in more control than we are. And so that's definitely something that I try to break down by showing people, look, this happens to everyone. And here are some really easy, manageable solutions that you can inject as quickly or as gradually as you want into your life. So offering different sort of entry points and also consistently reminding my reader that this is to be human is to be addicted to your phone unless you've put obstacles in place, because that's exactly how these devices were designed.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it too. We're addicted to our phones. You talk about several exercises that you do. Can you tell us one of your favorite exercises or reflections from the book that listeners would be able to try, right now to become? Well, don't turn the phones off now if you're watching on your phone. All right, we want you to watch, but just become more intentional with their phone use.
Sure. So in my book, I go through a few domains. The first is the physical space and about how to set up your physical environment in a way that encourages phone use that's aligned with your values. And I'll give you my favorite from physical space is to not charge your phone in your bedroom. It's really simple, but it makes a huge difference. I try to start my day and end my day with silence. And since making that shift, I have just seen such a huge difference, because with all the content that we're consuming, we often don't have time to think or to have our own inner dialogues or inner monologues. And of course, that is sometimes why people reach for their phones. When you are having an anxiety-riddled inner monologue, you might want to avoid that and turn on go to your phone to
Great
tune
point.
that out. Although it's been proven that avoidant behavior actually increases anxiety rather than decreases it. So when you are anxious about something, to ignore it, to avoid it, and to go on your phone instead is not going to help you. It's only going to make things worse. But anyway, going back to physical space, for a number of reasons that I could go on and on about, beginning and ending your day without your phone is an incredible thing to do. Another thing that I talk about in my book is phone configurations. So you, Joe, were mentioning how you put your phone on Do Not Disturb Friday night to Sunday morning. That's a really great intentional way that you've made a decision that during those times you want to interact with your phone on your terms. You will go check, but when you want to, not when the notification calls you to your phone, and you've made that adjustment. I love Do Not Disturb modes. I have a work mode. I have a nanny mode. I have also a date night mode so that I can filter what can come in and what can't. Thinking about which of your apps should even have their notifications turned on in the first place. Do you need badge notifications? There's so many little things that you can actually customize so that you're only getting what you need. So that would be a part of phone configuration. And then once you've made this space, both physically and digitally, the big question is, what do you want to do with your one life, right? What do you want to spend your time with? And that really can take time to answer that question. And when people don't know where to start, I encourage them to think about goals, joy, and rest. Those are three categories that we all probably can pour more into. So what are your goals, big or small? And then how can you break them down and then turn them into something that you do? What brings you joy? How can you incorporate that into your life? And then what do you find restful? Because a lot of people focus on, I want to use my phone less. I don't want to use my phone during X. But then my follow-up question is, okay, well then what do you want to do during that time? So I live close to New York City and I take the train in sometimes. And last week, for example, when I went in, I had a bunch of thank you cards to write. So I brought thank you cards with me and I wrote them on the train. It takes a little bit of preparation and forethought and planning.
Mhm.
But by doing that, I was aligned with my values. It's something that I wanted to get done. And so I did. So you have to go from the goals to then the actions and then prepare yourself for that. And that takes more effort than just taking out your phone and scrolling for the hour train ride. But I think it's worth it.
I agree with you. I used to do the same thing. I'm from New York originally, and
Okay.
so I used to. I would commute. I lived on Staten Island. I would commute from Staten Island to Manhattan every day, and exactly like you said. Just I would try to use that time in the commute to be more productive, and instead of because look, everybody does this. You get up in the morning. What's the first thing you grab? You grab your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Most people do anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sit there for who knows how long scrolling through Facebook and scrolling through all your, Instahams and YouBoobs and all that stuff. And, just you don't realize how much time you actually lose sitting there doing that when you can be using those early morning hours to do things that are much more healthy for yourself. Like you maybe go out for a walk, take
Mm-hmm.
the dogs out for the walk instead of letting them run around outside, you know, maybe go to the gym, take a run, do something a little, better for yourself than just sitting there, sucking down your coffee and running off, through all your notifications on Facebook. So yeah, I agree 100% with you on that one. Now, you'd also talk about identifying triggers for phone use. Now, what are some of the most common triggers that people would face, and what would you say is a realistic way to interrupt those?
So I guess there's external triggers and internal triggers is where we'll start. And amongst external triggers, there's environmental triggers, triggers of habit. Like let's say you often scroll your phone while you eat breakfast. So then it's something that you've coupled together. There can be social triggers. You're at dinner and someone else takes their phone out. So you take your phone out. And then there's also internal triggers, which are often boredom. You're waiting in line for coffee or discomfort. You're at a networking event and you feel like you're the only person that no one's talking to. So you decide to take your phone out. So you are like, no, it's not that no one's talking to me. It's that I'm not talking to anyone.
Great point.
Um, and in terms of these triggers, there isn't really a one size fits all. I think what you want to start with is just being aware that they're occurring. So it's a bit of a slower process. I mean, with some things you can intentionally block the trigger if you know that if you're aware of it already. So again, I guess that means you do have to start with awareness. But if you're aware that you often eat breakfast and scroll your phone, then maybe you put your phone in another room when you're eating breakfast. Or if you are aware that you often take your phone out at dinner, maybe you put it in your bag before you sit down. So awareness is first. And then once you're aware, you can decide if it matters to you or not. Because also one thing I want to say is that my mission is not to say no one should use their phone ever. My mission is that people should use their phones as they serve them. And so, you can evaluate it and say, okay, fine. Sometimes I take my phone out while I'm waiting for my coffee or I check a couple of emails and reply to them. If you're okay with that, that's totally fine. It's your choice. It's just that I want it to be your choice, not your phone's choice, where you're taking your phone out because your phone dinged at you. But going back to the triggers, yeah, awareness. And then once you decide which ones you're not okay with, try to think about ways that you can put obstacles into place. With some things, it's very hard to do that. Like if it's a social trigger and you notice someone else takes their phone out and then you do, you might even notice it after the fact, but that's still getting somewhere.
Sure.
And it can just take time.
Yeah, and I know earlier you mentioned you have young children. My kids are older. My daughter's just turned 29 a few days ago. My son is 26. But when they were kids, that was when like cell phones really started becoming what they are now. The smartphones were coming out, the first iPhones and whatnot. And their mom and I realized that this was going to be an issue because, of course, the both of them would come to the table at dinner with their phones. And so we established a rule very early on: no phones at the dinner table. and we would take the phones and put them in the other room, and we would have conversation. As awkward as it might be, we would have conversation, and it worked because they do that now with their children, and I think it's great. That's the best thing to do. I think people spend way too much time on the phones, and it really does affect, especially in a family setting, the interaction between the family. And it could be detrimental to the family. You forget how to talk.
Definitely.
So,
And a lot of people that are in your children's generation, they also have difficulty even making eye contact because
yes.
they're not used to having in-person conversations.
Yeah, and of course everything has to be documented. The phone's always up, in your face. Cannot stand that. I hate that. It drives me crazy. Now, so how do you personally model healthy screen habits at home, especially as a mom, since we're talking about that?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely a big motivation for me, is that when you have children, you really need to crystallize your values so that you could model them to your kids. And I do think that phone use and phone behavior is a practice. It's not a destination that you reach. So I'm always trying to improve myself. But definitely, I mean, it's the same for us. We don't have phones at the table. We're not yet at the age where they're asked. I mean, they don't have their own phones. They don't have any of their own personal devices, which is how it will be kept. But I think with your phone, I almost feel like you need to follow your gut. So if I'm with my kids and I feel like I'm on my phone and I shouldn't be, and I feel like I'm missing something,
Mhm.
then I should listen to that gut reaction and put it away. But I mean, in general, I don't have my phone out when I'm with them. And if I do, I would tell them first. I would say, hey, give me 1 sec. I just need to call this person, or I need to reply to this message. And then I also indicate to them when I'm tuning back in. So I say, hey, give me 1 second. I go on my phone. And then when I come back in, like mentally with my presence, I say, okay, what's going on? Like, what are we doing now, etc. Because I think that's honestly, like as an adult myself, I find that to be the most annoying or heartbreaking, or however you want to put it, is when you're talking to someone and then you realize that somewhere while you were talking, they started going on their phone. I'm like, excuse me, and I would never want to do that to my kids. So, and I would never want to do that to anyone, period. So, I mean, honestly, I guess I would say that my phone behavior towards my children is the phone behavior that I use towards any human. In that it is a tool. I even have like a flow chart in my book at some point where it's like, when you should use your phone with other people. First question, does it need to happen right now? And then you go to the flow chart, don't do it. Or does it need to happen now? Tell the person that you're about to use your phone why, do it, and then return to the conversation. Because like sometimes it feels like we all need that if I'm with close friends and I'm talking to them and they take their phone out, I won't be like mean, but I'll be like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I'll just express interest. And then then they look like an idiot if they're just like on Instagram. So I'm like, okay, like why, like what?
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I like to think that helps with their awareness. It's just muscle memory to them and they don't realize it. And most people aren't going to call them out on it, but I will. Yeah.
That's good. Now, it's interesting because what I do, whenever I'm in a conversation with somebody and my phone rings or I get a notification or something, I intentionally do not even look at it, because the conversation that I'm having, I want the person I'm speaking to understand that they have my full attention.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm with somebody and they just whip out their phone and they start doing whatever it is they're doing, I just stop talking.
Yeah, me too.
I'll just stand there and wait. And then when they put their phone down, when they realize that I'm not speaking anymore, they'll generally look up. And I'm like, oh, are you done?
Right. Yeah, there's no point in talking. They're not paying attention.
Exactly. And it's so those are little things that I do too. So it's interesting. It's so funny how the things that you talk about are things that I do, and I'm sure other people do as well, without realizing that they're doing things that are beneficial for themselves. And it took you to put a book together for this. So this was great. This is fantastic. Now, social media, we talked about social media, the Instagrams, the fake books, and all that stuff. How do you think, how has social media changed our sense of community, belonging, and how do you think we can rebuild more authentic forms of connection? We kind of touched on it a little bit, but.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to that. I mean, I think I feel like a while ago, a year or two ago, it started trending to be like, remember, it's just a highlight reel, right? So people would say, it was almost like people would feel like it's okay to go on Instagram because they've realized that it is a highlight reel. They acknowledge it's a highlight reel. But I honestly think that that's not enough, because even when you know that you're looking at someone else's highlight reel, you cannot help but compare that said highlight reel to your own life. So there's something called upwards comparison and downwards comparison. And with upwards comparison, you are comparing someone's best situation to your worst situation. So that's like me looking at like a woman with her perfectly clean house or something while I'm like doing the dishes, and I'm like, ugh, like how, what, and she sometimes is doing the dishes too, but in that moment I'm comparing my low to her high, and it doesn't feel good. And social media has created like so much upwards comparison that we as humans are just not wired and ready for. A little bit of upwards comparison can be great for us. You see someone that's better than you at a sport, or you see someone that's working really hard, and it can motivate you. But when you're just being blasted with upwards comparison, it's basically like being told you're not enough, you're not enough, you're not enough. And that's not going to help anyone. And we also end up not actually having downwards comparison. Can be healthy too. It's not to say you look at people and say, I'm so much better than them. But once in a while, noticing that the hard work or whatever you've done is paying off can feel really empowering and fulfilling. And so one issue that I have with social media is that it creates this disproportionate upwards comparison versus downwards comparison. Also in terms of, communication, I think when people are asked, why do you use social media? The most common answer is to stay in touch with friends and family. But then the content that you're consuming is like 95% influencers and stuff. It's not your friends and family. So that kind of sounds like a lie that people tell themselves. And I'd love for them to get real and say, is it, or, is it the entertainment or whatever? And even if you are connecting with someone, okay, let's say someone gets engaged and you like the post and say, congratulations. Is that really a meaningful connection compared to actually talking to them on the phone or seeing them in person and hearing about the engagement story? So I think the quality of the engagement isn't great. And then again, goes back a little bit to what we were talking about earlier, but we're just losing a lot of in-person communication, which can be so meaningful and connecting.
Yeah, because I'll say I'm guilty of this at times too, because I would rather send that little congratulations or happy birthday or whatever it is than actually speak to the particular person, because I don't want to. It's just easier just to send that and not.
And that's okay. And maybe, if it's people that you're not too close with, let's say it's coworkers or distant cousins or whatever, it does broaden the number of people that you can stay connected with. But I think the issue is if that completely replaces true personal connections. That's when it starts to become problematic.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, for somebody that's listening right now who totally is overwhelmed by their screen time, what's the very first step that they could take today to get it under control?
Plug your phone in outside your bedroom. Yeah, I would start with that. That's probably my favorite. And buy an alarm clock. You can buy one for $5.
Yeah. Well, I still have an alarm clock, believe it or not.
Yeah, I do too. I love clocks. Actually, I try to have them in every room because so in my book, I talk about on-ramps and slippery slopes. So on-ramps are things that get you onto your phone. So when you go to check the time, that's an on-ramp. And then ideally you check the time and you put your phone down, but that can be really hard due to slippery slopes. So those are the things that keep you on your phone. So if you notice a consistent on-ramp, you want to try to replace that with a tool that only does the one thing. So we're not going to have 50 tools. I'm not going to have like a calculator and a timer and like a YouTube playing tablet or whatever, it's great that the phone does a million things, but something like checking the time, or maybe you check the weather often, or maybe you need a timer because you cook a lot. If there are these things that you do frequently, using something that's not your phone can be really helpful. So I do have a clock in the kitchen. I have a clock in the bathroom because I don't want to be brushing my teeth, check the phone, and then I'm on my phone forever.
See a notification that grabs your attention and you stand there for 10 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you've also said that our phones are tools, not villains. Can you explain that perspective for us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to make the phone or technology out to be bad. I think that technology is really helpful. We were just talking about how we can connect with so many more people than we used to.
Right.
I can FaceTime people on the other side of the world. There's lots of great stuff. It's not inherently bad per se, I don't think, but we want to use it to serve us as a tool. And I think that when you start to have an emotional attachment to your phone, like a lot of people, they start to get anxious when their phone battery goes down,
Mhm.
and or they feel anxious if they don't have their phone with them. Those sorts of things indicate that you're a little too attached to your phone. And I think you want to be aiming for indifference. You don't have to hate your phone. And I don't hate mine. Like, it's just like, you shouldn't and wouldn't have feelings towards like a tape measure or a ruler or a level, and I think it should be as ridiculous to have a feeling towards your phone. So if that's what I mean by the fact that I think it should be a tool, and but not necessarily a villain. It's not your friend, but it's not a villain. It's just a tool.
Yeah, I agree. I was one of those people that when the smartphone first came around, I got my first few, and I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Whatever. I actually was one of those people that went out and bought the extra battery packs, the chargeable thing, so you could just plug it in, so it keep it charged all the time. I don't really care anymore, to be honest. I went one weekend. Remember, I told you, like I said, I put the phone on Do Not Disturb. Right? I didn't realize that the battery was almost dead from Friday, and when Sunday morning came around, I went to go pick up the phone, turn off the Do Not Disturb. It was dead. But hey, I don't care anymore. I really don't. The less distraction, the less interruptions I get throughout the course of the day on the weekends is great. Like I said, my kids are older. They don't live with me anymore. They're raising their families back up in New York and Pennsylvania. But it's just me and my two dogs. But I value that time with those two. They're great. They're my little family. They're my kids. I baby them. I take care of them. I spoil them. I take them on road trips. I spend my time with them. But I appreciate not being interrupted all day. People think I'm crazy sometimes, but it's the truth. Because I need that time to quiet myself. I need that time to just kind of reflect on everything that you've been through during the course of the week and where you're going during, for the weekend ahead, which is my reason for doing it. So great points, man. I wasn't sure what to expect with this conversation tonight, and this has been a treat. I'm enjoying this very much.
Thanks,
So,
Joe. I just wanted to add one thing for any listeners that feel intimidated by what Joe is just describing, because I feel like, Joe has come a long way with his phone use from someone that needs a battery pack to now spending weekends away. Baby steps, so, just spending time away from your phone for 5 minutes at a time, if that's new to you, and before you know it, you'll be spending a lot of time away from it. And I do think that as soon as you start to see the value of it and it doesn't feel like an obligation, you'll start flying. But I just wanted to put that in there, because as if I was listening and I hear Joe going with his dogs and phone free all weekend, I might feel like, oh my God, can I do this? And you absolutely can. So I just wanted to
absolutely.
mention
What does drive me crazy though, is that because of technology is so interconnected with everything now. If I leave the house without the phone, because the phone is connected to the car, and as soon as you pull out of the driveway, you get that alert popped up on the screen. Hey, your phone's not with you. You sometimes I do too. Sometimes oh shoot, I forgot my phone. I got to go get it. No, leave it there. Just let it go. Just hit the cancel button. Just ignore it. Just go do your thing. You don't need the GPS. You don't need that stuff. Learn how to drive around your neighborhood without GPS.
Totally.
Much better for your brain anyway. It keeps you thinking. And actually, I read a study someplace not too long ago that actually doing that, by going around without GPS, actually looking at either a map or just getting lost in your community and just finding your way around, actually helps with your memory, your retention. It helps with it stimulates. I forgot. Oh man, if I would have thought I was going to go into this, I would have clipped the article.
No worries. Maybe you can put it in the show notes. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd be really interested to look at it.
It's a fascinating study. So it helps. It does. So I look at those things and I try to take those things into consideration when I'm planning out my little excursions without So those things are important.
Definitely.
So what do you hope the audience takes away from this conversation tonight?
I hope they take away that they can make a change if they want to, So if you're feeling frustrated at all in any way about how you're using your phone, how long you're using it, what you're using it for, you do have agency. You need to think about what it is that you want and then go get it. And it's totally possible with phone use. I've seen it again and again and again.
Is there anything we haven't covered tonight that you want to bring up?
I don't think so. There's so much we could talk about. I really enjoyed being on your show, and we could always dive into new topics next time.
Absolutely.
But if people are interested, they can take a look at my book, which is coming out in March, and they can sign up for my newsletter. Howtostopscrolling.com is where you can find out about my book and sign up, and I can send you weekly tips. So maybe that could help as well.
Sounds great. Now, who's somebody that you respect right now, and what are they doing that inspires you?
Someone I respect. So many people. Well, I have these two neighbors, Jeanette and Steven. They're in their early 80s, maybe 82 and 85. And it's funny, we were actually talking about phones a couple of weeks ago at dinner. But I think what I really respect about them is how they take care of their physical selves and how that really allows them to continue doing what they want to do, So she goes swimming every day. He's on his bike every day. And when I went out to dinner with them, they were making healthy choices. And It was just really interesting to see how small, consistent actions lead to a long, full life.
That's great. My regular job, I work in a nursing facility. So I unfortunately get to see how people who really didn't take care of themselves where they can potentially find themselves and what conditions they're in. Mm-hmm. And this is not a knock on where I work. They can do a fantastic job in patient care. They do spot on stuff. But it is a reminder to me, because I am in my 50s. Mm-hmm. I'm not so far removed from some of the residents we have in our building, and it's the motivation to really keep yourself moving, keep yourself healthy, keep doing things, and you really do need to keep going. You can't just sit around all day sitting on your phone, your tablet, or your computer, just wasting the day. You got to get out and move and do things. And like you said, leave the phone behind. And this is great. Ruby, thank you so much for this tonight. I really do appreciate this. And what I'd like to do is I have your email address. I'm gonna have Angela put a bookmark next to it. This way, when your book comes out in March, I'd like to get a copy of it and then kind of go through it and then have you back on the show again and talk more detail about what you have in the book and go from there if that's okay with you, if you like that.
That'd be great, Joe. Yeah, I'd love that.
All right, outstanding. So I know you already kind of gave out some of the information, but where can they go to get your book, your social medias? If you have anything you want to give out, go right ahead.
Yeah, so howtostopscrolling.com is where you can learn about my book, sign up for my newsletter. I also blog occasionally at rubyrybawrites.com. And I think that's about it. Yeah, I like to keep it simple. Howtostopscrolling.com is the best way to find me.
All right. And it's a good website. I looked at it today. And it's simple, it's direct, it's minimalist, which I like the minimalist stuff. I really do. Actually, well, it's growing on me. Let's put it that way. I'm starting to like it and appreciate it a lot more because there's way too much stimulation out there. You don't need all these flashing things all over the place.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, that's why if you look at my website, it's very basic. It's really not much. But again, Ruby, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I really do appreciate it, and God bless you. And I hope that the book is a seller for you. I hope you do a good job with this.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Joe, for having me. Have a great night.
You're welcome. You too, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, Ruby Ryba. Sorry, said it again wrong. I'll get it one day. You figure I'm doing this for long enough. I should be able to get names straight, but I don't. So I apologize. All right, folks. Well, so we're going to take a quick break here. We come back from the break. We're going to have Dannie Mendoza Jr. joining us here in the second part of the show tonight. And we're going to, just like I said, just take a quick break. So listen, don't forget, this is a live show, weeknight, 7 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends, your family, and your followers. It's very important to do that. It helps the algorithm, keeps us moving along, keeps us getting noticed. And I want to say thank you to the new followers we have on Rumble. Thank you so much. And for the couple of people we picked up on YouTube, thank you very much for that. We really do appreciate it. And just keep moving along here. And to the folks that are watching on X and Fakebook, and yeah, I call it Fakebook for a reason. And I wanted to mention that to Ruby too, but I slipped my mind. But Fakebook and YouTube and X, Twitch, all those places that we're streaming on right now. Thank you guys for watching. I see the numbers really, really nice. So I appreciate it. All right. With all of that said, let's take that break and we'll be back in about 3 minutes. See you in a bit.
Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and we must do it big fat love, find common ground to halt the spread of lies, and any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first. To lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow.
All righty. First hour is in the books. Welcome back. This is Joe Rooz. This is the Joe Rooz Show. Ruby Ryba on the show with us earlier. Interesting conversation. I didn't expect that at all. But then again, this is the Joe Rooz Show. You never know what you're going to get. That's why we always say that nothing is sacred, nothing is watered down, nothing is PC. It's an anything and everything show. And we try to do the best we can to bring you the best quality talk radio that we could muster without the bluster. Somebody actually asked me where that came from. Like, where'd I come up with that? That is something that we came up with back in 2016 on the show I did back up in New York with my friend Jay and our other friend Joe. And we had a lot of fun with that show. And there was a night that Jay wasn't able to come to the show because he wasn't feeling well. Let's brighten you up a little bit there. So he wasn't able to come onto the show that night. I think he got hurt or something like that. Or no, he was babysitting his daughter, and he decided that you could pull that down. Just pull all of it down. I'm giving instructions here. I forgot to do because I went to get coffee on the break, and the dogs tripped me coming in, and because when they tripped me, I had to go clean it. So the break ended before I was able to take care of all the stuff I needed to take care of. Let me just send this really quick. The things we do on a live show, folks. This is how we do it. So anyway, so as I was saying with Jay, so I knew he was watching and listening to the show. So I sent that little call out at the opening of the show, and that kind of like became one of our little taglines. You know, so that's where it came from. That's to answer the question that I got the other day. But and that was directed towards him because I would say to him, I would say the line, and then at the end of the line I would tell him to call in so we can hang up on him. You know, which we did regularly. So, but we did that for Danny, don't laugh. There was a reason for it because the whole purpose behind it was because what Jay would do when we were doing the show, Jay would have the board in front of him, the mixing board, and we called it the captain's chair. He was in the captain's chair the whole time, and what he would do is if he didn't like what you were saying, he would mute you, and you wouldn't even know it because you'd still hear it in the cans, but you weren't being transmitted. And he used to do it to me all the time. So any opportunity I could to get back at him, that's what I would do. That's the kind of fun we had. And the way the show was laid out, we had 3 people on the show. It was me, Jay, and Joe. And Joe was the libertarian voice of the show, and Jay was the left voice of the show, and I was the right voice of the show. So we kind of played off each other, and we would argue, man. We would get into it. We would tussle. It was a lot of fun. But you know, at the end of the day, it was a show. We had a lot of fun doing it. We were best buddies, and we hung out afterwards. We had pizza, and you know, it was a good thing. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But you know, with all of that said and done, I do miss it. I do miss hanging out with Jay and Joe, and one of these days we're gonna have a reunion show. I think that should be in the works. What do you think, Danny? Think we should do that? You think we should do that?
I think you should.
Okay. All right. So that's the voice from the darkness over there. So let's bring Dannie Mendoza in. Danny, welcome to the show, buddy. I'm really glad you're here. And there's a 10-second delay up there. So if you were looking on the monitor for any reason, it's going to be a 10-second delay. Hopefully you'll pop up there. There you go. Look at you up there on a big screen. Look, check you out.
Hey, looking good.
There you are. You
or at least trying to.
You handsome little devil, you there, buddy.
Same to you, Joe. Same to you, man.
I know that.
A lot of brotherly love here.
Yes. A lot, yeah. None of that homo stuff.
No homo here.
So
it's a good way to start it.
Absolutely. You know, my friend Mike, my friend Chris, and I, we used to do all kinds of like skits and things like that when we were kids with the video cameras and stuff. And they were the big shoulder mounted things, and it was, well, you know what, I'm not even going to get into it because it's just because people just would not understand. So
they're going to need to hear the whole context to get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to take way too long to get into all that stuff, but. So Dannie Mendoza is the CEO, CFO,
yes,
of all of these different organizations. But the first important one for me, at least right now, is that he is the CEO of TNE Energy,
yes, sir.
Which we are very happy to be partnered with right now, and excited to see what kind of damage we can do together as a team. And so, Danny, welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. It's almost didn't happen.
Yeah.
You
True.
know, but I tried to get this thing put together as quickly as we possibly could.
Thank you for the coffee. It's delicious.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
did need it. I had to run before I got here. That's why I looked this way.
You had the runs before you got here?
I had to run.
Oh, okay. Because I have wipes. I have wipes over there.
No,
if you
you're
need
good. No, not yet. Even though I should be taking some prune juice, I guess. Hey, nothing. You got to be healthy. You know, you got to be healthy.
Absolutely. That's what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about phone health, electronic health. So now we're going to talk about bowel health. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not an expert in that.
Let's pass on that conversation. But Danny, so tell us about TNE Energy. Tell us how you got started with it, when you really like threw yourself into it, and decided that this was the direction you wanted to go with the business. So
I've been in the energy industry for over 15 years, believe it or not. It's actually started in Central Texas.
Okay.
So there's a good buddy of mine, Johnny Wong. I'm going to give him a big old shout out because if it wasn't for him helping me start, I had to borrow money to start in the beginning. So actually, I'm a big gamer.
Okay.
I actually put my Wii U as collateral, which is kind of funny. I was like, because I was like, I think still in college when I first started.
Okay.
And I was trying to go for astronomy. So that's actually what I was trying to major in
All right.
when I was in college. And then business was actually my minor. So it was very interesting how it all worked out. But when I first moved in, the college life, everybody knows this. I wasn't, I didn't get a dorm or anything like that. I had to, get my own apartment, move in and stuff like that. Nobody told me how to buy energy. One of the things that I noticed about that's common in America is that everybody uses energy, but nobody knows how to buy it.
That's a great point.
Yeah. So, and they do that often. They'll tell you exactly where to buy like the cheapest tomatoes and stuff like that. Or, hey, this is the best place to buy this. But when you start talking about energy, they're like, oh, like, no, I don't even want to touch it. And it's like you use that every day. That should be the one you touch.
Makes
so
sense.
I was living with my wife in an efficiency.
Okay.
And the energy bill was like $450. That should not be for
No. You know what? That shouldn't be for anybody anywhere. That's just absurd.
Well, things have changed. So this was we're talking about like, I want to say like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it was the whole entire thing was way different back then. I remember the kilowatt price being 6.9 cents. Like 6 cents or 9 cents.
Yeah.
I was like, but when I was paying for it, I didn't know how to buy it. So even then I still paid more than what I should have. And that's where it started. That's where the idea started. Because when my buddy told me, hey, you should go to this company, and I was like, oh, I can choose? It's like, yeah, nobody told you? I was like, no. And then when you look at these kids today, when they go out, they don't know. Whoever they get recommended by whoever, they don't even pay attention to the price. They'll just get it.
Yeah, that's true. Because I'm, I'm from New York. You know that. And, in New York, you don't have a choice where you get your energy from. It's one company. You have no say in it whatsoever. There's no shopping around for it, so you just accept whatever it is that it is. So when I came here and they were like, I think I went to HEB one day and it was like booths set up with all these different energy companies. I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, this is new. I was like, well, that's deregulation. I feel like it's a good thing. It puts the power back to the people and the companies to compete. You know this. If you keep one company, they're gonna be like, this is the price, and well, that's it.
Nothing you could say about it.
And so, even though a lot of people probably don't like our, privately owned, because it's not publicly owned,
Right.
our grid here, it's actually considered one of the best in the world. Yeah, so I studied a little bit on that, especially after the freeze happened, and I was literally stunned because ours needs a lot of improvement. But to say that it's the best, like anywhere else you go, that is crazy because we are behind on a lot of technology on that stuff. And we're not building any new power plants. And there's a lot of people moving to Texas.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and then there's a new one that I didn't consider. I already knew all the rates are supposed to be going up no matter what. And I didn't consider AI. So I have a team. It's not just me. There's a lot of people that I work with that deals with energy. I actually work with Mantis Innovation.
Okay.
They're considered one of the best for commercial in Texas and in the nation. I think they're number 2 in the nation if I'm correct.
Wow.
So they do outside of Texas too.
Okay.
Got lucky how I partnered up with them. This was in Waco, Texas, when I was in Central Texas. I got to meet a lot of great people. So I want to say God blesses me and He favors me. So I want to stay in that favor.
Really? That's good. That you should.
Yeah. So I got to meet a lot of great people, and they literally told me, hey, prices are about to go up. I was like, well, I already knew that. And it's like, no, they're gonna go up like quickly. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, AI. It's like all this data centers that they're making.
Yeah.
It requires a lot of energy, and there's no extra power being put into it. So someone has to pay for all that, and it gets pretty heavy after you look at all the data and stuff like that. So, and then like I said, it's not only me. So I have other experts that are on the field. But yeah, no, it's actually going in a route to where, well, I mean, in California, there was a story here locally. There's these guys that are going out there. By the way, we offer residential for your home, commercial for your business. And then we also offer solar. Now, out of all those three, the one that's gotten hit the most and the hardest has been solar. But that is the answer, by the way. No matter which way you slice it, if you want to keep pricing low and you want to own the energy, which is crazy to even say, solar is the answer. The only problem is nobody knows how to do it yet. It's only like 25 years old. So what'd you expect? And then it's
true.
It's juju magic to the majority of the people. They don't understand how it even works. But the idea is that you can own that right now. And what I suggest people is like, look, if you can own the energy, own it. So going into the story of this one, there was a competitor of mine that came by, talked to one of my clients that already has solar, and he comes from California. And all he does is solar.
Okay.
And he works for this company. I forgot the name of it. But my client was like, hey, come sit down because we're already getting solar with you. But this guy is like, talking game. Let's see what he says is true. And what I was there for is one of the things that a lot of salespeople do is that they kind of over-exaggerate on a lot of stuff. You kind of have to tell the people exactly how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them, oh, well, I don't want it. It's like, well, you're going to miss out because trust me, as time goes on, you're going to want it. The idea of this being cheaper, you're buying a power plant. It's not cheaper. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's not to where it's like, oh, my God, it's so much more expensive. No, only when you do it wrong. Okay, it's just like anything else. Like if you buy something cheap,
you get what you pay for.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, whoops, I have to spend more money now. Like, I was like, okay, that's usually what happens. Okay,
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay, well, with energy, really, you're gonna go cheap on that? No, that's like the worst idea you could do. The reason we had the freeze and the reason 10% of the population happened, and this is what we were told when we were looking into it, is the windmills did not work under extreme cold weather. Now, there are windmills that work under extreme cold weather, but those cost more.
Mm-hmm.
And when they were told to buy those, they were like, well, it never gets cold here. So why would we buy them? And they went cheap on energy. And look, 10% of the population lost their energy. So, it's kind of crazy to go. But anyways, he was telling me the story. I said, hey, gave a lot of stuff. He over-exaggerated and played on some stuff, but nothing too horrible or bad. And then I asked them, because I'm really curious on energy rates everywhere else. And I always try to double confirm. Usually people don't lie to you either, because why would they lie about that?
I was going to say that there's no point in lying about it.
They don't gain anything from it. Well, California's kilowatt rate is about 70 cents.
70 cents? Yeah. I'm complaining about what I have.
Well, no, okay. Well, here's the bad news for you. It's supposed to be higher.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah. It's supposed to be right now after the freeze happened, since they lost, I think it was $1 billion, if I'm correct on that, if I still remember, because it was a while back. They took out a loan to pay for that because it's a private grid. By the way, during that time frame, China bid for it, believe it or not, and the U.S. government bid for it. So they just had to take out a loan. They said, no, we're not going to sell it to these guys. I was like, so we got lucky on that one, too. Most people don't know that was like an actual thing. China could have bought our energy grid. That would have been crazy, man.
It would have been disastrous.
I think so, too. Yeah, no, because you don't want... So we don't have the best energy grid because, the government owns it, because technically China's a government, too. So it's just one of the worst ones.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so... and they would have made a lot of money, too, because there's a lot of money in Texas when it comes down to energy. And this goes with solar. So when he said, hey, 70 cents, I started laughing, and my client was like, whoa, everything you said was true? I was like, bro, like, what do you think? I was just like saying it just so I can get the sales? I was like, this is actual data. And whether you like it or not, it's going in that direction.
Yeah.
I was like, I've been in the energy industry for 15 years. When I got into solar like 7 years ago, and I started kind of learning from it, little by little. And so TNE Energy started focusing more on solar. And there's huge profits in energy. So much in profits that even the client can get some capital. That's how much money
when you and I were talking about this, we talked about it more than just once. We talked about it a couple of times, actually. When we talked about it last week, and you really went into more detail last week about it, I mean, I was blown away by it. Now, I am looking forward to getting panels and getting hooked up to the solar here eventually.
Well, it's the only solution. I just went and talked to Pat. Big ol' shout out to Pat. He's one of the GM for the mall, Legal Pass Mall. And he literally told me he bought a house in San Antonio with panels and a generator. And I told him, hey, Is that as bad as they say? Like that it's, I mean, obviously I was just, instigating is all
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
doing.
I know.
But I wanted to confirm, because if you talk bad about it, he doesn't know my stance on it.
Mhm.
So I was like, hey, is it as bad as they say? He's like, no, actually it was like the best purchase I ever had. And then I came out and said, see, that's what people need to be saying. I was like, most people don't even say that. I was like,
That's true.
he bought a house with panels and a generator. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. A house, if you own a house and you own the energy, that's better than a house with no energy.
Exactly. I agree.
So
I agree with you, especially when you get an electric bill like I got.
it was a good bill too, I saw it.
Yeah, it was a juicy one. Yeah.
No, but you're actually, believe it or not, you're on the lower tier. As horrible as that sounds.
Everything I do is lower.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. No, so so we help out regular homes. On average, they can, with the companies that we partner up with, they can normally say like maybe about 10%. 10 to 30% is like usually max.
Hey, Mike, thanks for watching. Appreciate it.
Hey. Oh, by the way, that's Mike Chav. Big old shout out to him. We're going to be talking about it here in a whole second. That guy's going to be on your podcast.
Oh, that's the guy.
That's the
All
guy.
right, Mike.
That's
Wow,
the
look
guy.
what you're going to
yeah.
walk into here, buddy. I hope you're ready for this
Yeah, so
comedy of errors that we got going on.
commercial, I've had a bunch of them. So Jersey Mike's,
Mhm.
Central Texas, those are under our company, which are under Mantis Innovation, but they're like, I know, big old shout out to Bobby. I knew him before he became like, he rose up the ranks at Jersey Mike's, and it's they saved a lot of money with us.
Mhm.
Then here in Eagle Pass, I've actually helped out a lot of people already. So, like I said, it's not a bad thing when they buy it wrong. Nobody knows how to buy this stuff, so it's okay.
Mhm.
I don't feel bad about it, because like there was this ones. It's called Gummies. Big ol' shout out to Gummy. That's actually his nickname. He saved about, it's almost like 60%
Okay.
off of his bill. So it went from like he was paying like, you said $250 on yours. His was like $1,000. So he ended up paying $550.
It was $250 this time, but last month it was much more. It's closer to $500.
Okay,
last
yeah.
month.
That sounds accurate.
And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing different that it came down a little bit.
It's
but-
just the weather.
I don't know. I really haven't changed any pattern or
Yeah,
anything.
well, it's the weather. It's the heat and the AC. So 60% of your usage from the bill comes from the AC.
Mhm.
So if you don't have good AC system or anything like that, yeah. And usually the worst system is, I tell people this all the time, the worst system is the window unit.
Right.
It's the worst system. Second worst system is the mini split. It's still really good. It's way, way better than the, what's it called, than the window unit.
Oh, of course.
And then the AC unit is just king, no matter which way you slice it.
The central air units.
Yeah, and the newer you have it, the better. There's even new technology that allows you to use, you know how they turn on and they turn off?
Mhm.
So there's a little chip that we actually offer when they go solar. You can add it to, I think it's up to like maybe a 5-year, 7-year-old AC unit. And when the power shuts off, there's still current in there. So what this chip does is it uses it.
I see.
And so it stays on for an extra, maybe 30 minutes. That's how much energy is being wasted, by the way.
That's crazy.
I know.
That's really that's insane when you think about that.
Yeah. No, it is. It is, because all these little things add up. And then you're talking about window units. You're talking about insulation. You're talking like all these things add up. And your biggest expense is your AC. So no matter which way you slice it across the board, they already have data for this and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
So-
isn't it broken down like that on your bill also? I think it is.
Well, some of them break it down, but the majority of them don't. So, and then that's another thing. So people don't know how to read the bill. I'll teach you guys a little bit on how to read the bill so nobody else can kind of skim you from it. There's the little numbers. They do this purposely too. So they'll tell you, hey, our kilowatt rate is 10 cents.
Mhm.
And you're like, yay, 10 cents. And then you're like, wait, why did I pay so much if it was 10 cents? Well, there's a whole system that goes on to get energy to your home. So, for example, it starts at the power plant.
Right.
And then goes to the delivery service. Here, it's AEP. You go to Central Texas, it's Encore. You go to Houston, it's a different one. I think it's Northeast something. And like everywhere else you go, there's like few different delivery services.
Okay.
But you get it from the power plant. They make the deal with the power plant, usually wholesale it, and then they deliver it to you. And then there's a middleman before it actually gets to even you. There's a middleman between let's say you're getting TXU and the delivery service. The middleman's called ERCOT.
Okay.
And so they're the ones that turn on and turn off your light. And they're the ones that kind of, I don't want to say regulate because they don't really do that. It's more like a checks and balances, I guess you could say. So that way nobody just owns the whole entire thing.
I see.
Which is actually pretty good. So everybody, by the way, this is how much money there is in energy. All these people get paid. Yeah. Okay. So
In the wrong business.
well, I mean, I got lucky. Like I said, I was in astronomy, so that's the only reason. So and then comes the deal that only you see, which is in front of TXU. But all that has to happen before the energy gets delivered to you. So the kilowatt rate that TXU does with, the line as it goes over there, it could even sometimes skip, but it goes all the way through. That's why you get the kilowatt rate that you do here. And then you have issues after that, because then you're like, hey, the lights went out. Who do I call? It's not TXU. It's AEP because they deliver it. So, and then when the light gets turned off, it's not TXU that ordered the shutoff. It's ERCOT. ERCOT ordered the shutoff because they noticed you didn't pay. This is, like I said, it's a checks and balances. So not one place has all. So TXU can't just say, we're going to turn off your power. They can't do that. They have to go through ERCOT, and ERCOT has to say, okay, they didn't pay. Okay, yeah. And then as soon as you pay, they actually turn it on immediately, usually within 15 to 20 minutes because it's a must. But sometimes it might take like an hour or two, depending on, if there's outages and stuff. Yeah, it gets. So if you look at that whole.
Or if you piss off the person that you called and sort of yelling at them because they shut your power off.
You can't call ERCOT, by the way. You can't call ERCOT.
No, I know. No, I know. I'm saying you call TXU, you curse them out. Hey, you shut my power off.
It was not even them, by the way.
I know. But
that's why they tell you, just pay it, bro. Like, but if you see where all that money comes from, solar gets rid of all that. It's just you, solar, because you're the power plant. By the way, you're the owner now. You're the owner of the power plant, even of the delivery service of it. When you think about it, it's all there. It's all that lines and grids and all that stuff, and it's on your frickin' roof. It's actually kind of mind-boggling when you really sit down and think about it. And then it's your job to hire the delivery guys to fix your stuff. That's where you get a lot of issues, because most people don't know, well, who do I call? And it should be the delivery service should be the solar company that you bought it from. That's supposed to be the delivery service. Okay. So they're supposed to maintenance your stuff, and then it depends on the contract that you made with them. Some of them do, some of them don't. And then, I mean, just like a house, you sometimes have to pay if some of the stuff messes up. You can't insure it, though. You can actually add it to your insurance. So it's kind of even more insane when you think about it from that point. And then they do have a 25-year warranty, but it's only good if the solar company is still active. So if that goes bankrupt, well, now you got to find a new one, and good luck if they want to, if they know how, or they even want to, because they don't make any money off of that. And usually they'll have to charge you, which is why we came up with a maintenance side for solar. Okay. But that's a whole different other model. Even I had to take a step back because the expenses on those things, they get kind of crazy.
Wow.
So, but we partner up with somebody that can handle it. So the idea is to bring solutions to Eagle Pass. So that's
all of that, folks. Just to get to the punchline of bring solutions to Eagle Pass.
Yeah, that's our job. Our job is to provide solutions for all people who decide to get energy consumption. Because one of the biggest things that I noticed was, if you don't have power, you fall behind. And this has been proven throughout civilizations. The civilization that has the most power reigns supreme.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what the bomb was. When we dropped it on Hiroshima, it's just a bunch of energy, raw energy.
Exactly.
It's kind of scary when you think about it that far. So, but yeah, that's what my T&E energy company is for. It's that's why we call it providing affordable energy to progress civilization. That's what it's for. If a business is able to save $500, they're able to do more.
Of course.
If in your house you can have the energy running all the time and prices are low, or at least they don't go crazy, and you're the owner of it, then you can do more.
Of course.
I was like, so, and that's,
you have more money in your pocket, you have more buying power, you can do what you need to do.
Exactly. So that's the point. That's what we're here to do.
Well, I am looking forward to getting my panels and whatnot set up here. So, so as my sponsor, I'm
yeah, I got to give you a deal on that one too.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Especially when I'm going to keep on bragging about this thing and saying how great you guys are. I mean, I need to experience it for myself. So.
That's how it works.
So in addition to T&E Energy, because you spread yourself pretty thin, you do a lot of stuff. You're all over the board. I know you told me over the weekend that you're usually up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning working on stuff. So, I mean, God bless you for it. Usually at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I am camped out on the couch with the kids watching some kind of weird movie on Tubi or something, you know. But
some good Halloween movies going on right now.
oh yeah, absolutely. You know, I've been watching these old 1960s horror movies. I watched one the other night. Was it last night actually? I put it on, and it was the weirdest movie I'd ever seen. It was called the Screaming Skull. It was so weird. And
Sounds odd.
And what really triggered me to say, okay, this might be a mistake, was, you know, back in those days, when they do these horror movies, they would always lead into the movie by having some kind of a commentary from the off-camera voice. And this one was a slow shot into like a funeral home, and there's this casket laying there. And the voiceover guy is talking about this movie. It's, you know, it's the first movie of its kind, and they have an arrangement with the theater owners that if anybody dies from shock, that their funeral service will be paid for. And then the lid to the coffin opens, and it says "reserved for you." And I'm like, all right, let's see what this is all about. It was the weirdest freaking movie I've ever seen.
I mean, you take a shot with that type of or like description, even I would have been like, next.
Yeah, no, right. So I'm watching this thing, and it's not a bad story. The story basically was that this guy, he was a widower, and he remarried, and when his first wife passed away, she owned the home they were living in and the grounds. It was like a mini mansion type thing, and she left that to him. And then he remarried somebody who was insane, but she had like a ton of money, and the plan was that he was going to make her go crazy by thinking that the ghost of his dead wife was haunting her to the point where he either has to have her committed or she commits suicide or something like that, and the whole thing falls apart, turns around on him. Okay. Not a bad idea, you know, for a movie.
Executed wrongly,
but not executed well at all.
It was like a movie that I saw recently. It was called Jack in the Box. I don't know if you heard.
Oh
it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I feel like it had a lot of potential and they squandered it. That's what it felt like. Because the idea is good. Like if you watch the movie, it would be creepy, but I feel like they had low budget. You can tell.
Yeah.
And if they would have brought in some good like directors and stuff like that,
oh, sure.
I think that would have been a great new spooky stuff that goes on.
Well,
in that tone though, that's why we actually had some. This is the one that you're talking about, the EP PopCon. We're on the third year already, but on the second year here, we actually brought Butcher's Bluff. It's like a horror theme director.
Like how I segued.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I was like, maybe he's playing it on that form. So this actually was created for the people here of Eagle Pass. So for those that have supported our, like I said, there's a lot of money that goes into solar. So most of this is actually funded by our solar company. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to give something back to the people, and I wanted to prove certain things that people here in Eagle Pass, for some reason, I don't know where this thought process comes from, but they say that you can't do. So one is you can't give stuff to the people. Which I was like, that's wrong. Anybody can. But they're like, nobody here in Eagle Pass is willing to do it. Oh, well, I'm here in Eagle Pass. I live here. I was like, I can do it. I was like, and then two was like, well, no one's going to support it. All these people are, well, it's free to the public. Mm-hmm. I'm giving. I was like, so,
anytime, anywhere you are, you put the label free on something, people are going to respond.
Well, and they said they weren't going to.
I'm not saying that as a negative. It's not a negative at all, but you'll get their attention.
Yeah, well, they said that they weren't going to support this one, but people wanted this here too. Remember, you got to have something that people want. Mm-hmm. You can give away free nonsense, and people are just going to be like, I don't want that.
Sure.
I was like, but if you got something that the people want, and you're able to give it to them, then might as well do it, and do it in the best form that you can. So then that's another reason why I ended up doing this. It's like, hey, that's two. There's two things that they said that couldn't happen that just happened.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're like, oh, no, businesses are going to come by and help. And I got a whole list of businesses here that are So I was like,
what I would like to have been,
three strikes, you're out, sir.
I would have loved to have been the fly on the wall to look at their facial reactions when you showed them the list. Well, okay, you said nobody's going to help out, nobody's going to contribute to this thing, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Like, no, not only that, it was the first year we tried it out. They're like, nobody's gonna like go the second year. And they would. I even have the data for that too. So it's just, it's. I don't know where these weird ideas are coming from. Like, and I don't know why they're here. They're not real ideas.
Right.
So you got to push what's real. And then I created this really the first time around. It was marketing. It's supposed to be marketing. Like people here, it's like, well, marketing doesn't work. I was like, marketing is very important for any business. Anyone that says they have enough marketing or they don't need marketing, they have no idea what they're saying. If you look at all these other bigger businesses, they understand that marketing is the lifeblood of any business.
Absolutely.
I was like, and you must do it. I had read this book. There's this, I think it was it Bentley or Bugatti? I think it was Bugatti. So Bugatti's theory is we want to have an omnipotent, is that how you pronounce that? Omnipotent?
Omnipotent.
Omnipotent marketing. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But the majority of people do know what Bugatti is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. The point is you want everybody to see your product at least one time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what marketing is. And yes, it'll cost money, but the returns are insane. And so this one, the first year that we did it, it tripled my investment.
Nice.
So I was like, oh, I guess it's a real thing. And so then I did it again. And right now, I mean, it hasn't completely tripled, but there's other things that pop up that are not just monetary wise. And so this is where you say you spread it thin, but you get all this extra work. Mm-hmm. There's eyes that see it now and they're like, hey, I like what you did. Let's do something.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it just amplifies everything. And if it's, I strongly believe that if it's under good cause and, obviously God first,
always,
it works. So, yeah, that's what we did. Like this year, last year we brought Peter Dante. I don't know if you know who he is.
No, name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
He comes out in a bunch of Adam Sandler movies.
Okay.
Have you seen any of them?
I'm not an Adam Sandler fan.
Okay. Okay, I don't blame you either. I was like, I actually found I like a lot of comical stuff. I thought his stuff was really goofy too, but it's still funny. So like I'm able to keep up with that stuff. But we'll agree
to disagree on that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll go with that. I was like, no, really, Adam Sandler's a hit or miss with people.
Yeah.
So because he's just too goofy sometimes. It's like childish goofy, but it's. I mean, I still find her. I don't want to say the R word, but that's why I laugh at it.
Listen.
Yeah.
The more complex the mind, the greater the need for the simplicity of play.
Yeah, that's how I saw. Yes, that's exactly what I saw. Okay. Yeah. So this time we brought Napoleon Dynamite because we had the elections and the runoff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, the whole point of the PopCon is to give to the people. So give them a win. I was like, because sometimes they need to see that in order for them to believe. Mm-hmm. I was like, and bring in hope. And that's one of the biggest things that I like bringing to the people because it's not seen often. And I think we need more of that. And as soon as all it takes is one person, and then the thing starts rolling. So, like I said, it started off with a marketing mindset, and then I noticed something bigger. Like some of these artists that we bring really move the people. So it wasn't me bringing the hope. It's just the people when they see Peter Dante or when they see Napoleon Dynamite, because that's what we brought the second time around. It moves people, especially the kids. That was the one that like. I don't get starstruck, so I don't know why.
I don't either.
Yeah, it's odd to me, but I saw the people, like some of them were shaking, some of them couldn't even speak. Yeah, no, it was weird. Like I was like, whoa, but the biggest part was like there was like these 5 kids that were from Camino Real, and they were under this mentorship program that. He tried paying me for it. I said, no, man, it's for the kids, so go ahead, they can take. And then some of these artists are like, no, I won't charge for them because I know, what they're coming from. Like,
right, exactly.
For Napoleon Dynamite, I think he gave away a bunch of them for the kids that were on the projects. The housing authority brought the kids. We took pictures with them, and he gave away stuff. We didn't charge for that, and he didn't charge me either. But if you know a little bit about it, a big old shout out to him, by the way. Fran Ramirez, he's a great guy. I got to speak with him during that time. You get to see that they're just human, just like you and me, and they go through different opportunities. And some say they get lucky, but I don't think it's luck. I think it's just work. Mm-hmm. But a friend used to be in the projects too, believe it or not. Wow. And so when he was talking to the kids, he was telling them, "Hey, you have a choice. You don't have to stay there. You can work and do the right thing and You know, it's a
Tell me.
different message.
Absolutely, it is.
So, and it comes from someone that they see on TV. So it becomes, to them, I guess, something really big. So Peter Dante did the same thing with the 5 people from Camino Real. And believe it or not, Joe, big old shout out to Joe, by the way, because he brought him. He literally told me, he said, hey, those kids, 180. Like, they went from to doing great. I was like, what the? I wasn't expecting that. Remember, it started as a marketing strategy for my solar company and for all these businesses, because I was trying to show them, hey, this is how you do marketing. You must give. You might not get the money right then and there, but the people don't forget. And if you do a really good job, they'll give you the money as time goes on, because they're going to support your business, or they're going to tell their people about your business. That's what it started off as. And then I noticed that there's actually like something deeper to that when you give. And I was like, whoa, that was like, if anything, that's why I started doing it after that. It's a lot of work.
It's just, I don't know, you keep on saying give, and you know, as every time you say it, a verse pops in my head. It pops in my head. It's, you know, it's give and it shall be given unto you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the verse goes on from that, but I'm going to mangle it right now. But the important thing is give.
Yeah.
And you know, Eagle Pass, it's a growing city. It's what are we? Just a little over 30,000 in population right now.
Well, that's what they say. I think
think
we're bigger.
Think it's bigger than that?
No, I think we're like at 50, and then plus all the traffic here, easy over 100.
You know, yeah, okay. So we'll say 40,
Yeah.
just for argument's sake. And even though it's 40,000 people in this quote unquote small town, you know, it still really is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's somehow connected to each other. I mean, for crying out loud, dude, I met somebody the other day, and I found out that this person is like a cousin to somebody that I know that's married to somebody that I know that's a cousin to that person, and it's like incest had to be somewhere along the way. I don't know. You know, somebody had to hook up with somebody's.
That was a good theory to prove that.
You know, somebody had to hook up with somebody's cousin somewhere along the way.
That is scary, right? Like,
Yeah.
Wait. What's your last name?
Right.
Nah.
But
You had Adon, right? The mayor here.
yeah.
Yeah, no, because that's kind of what I was trying to get to. That we are a pretty small town, but most people don't know. Even though we are small and mostly everybody knows everybody, it's weird because like there's still people that you don't know, and it's like, yo, like that guy's really important. You got to know who he is.
Well, I learned it like the example that I like to give is I'm from New York. You know that everybody knows that. I say it all the time, but. You know, in New York, you can get lost in New York easily. 8 million people in the city of New York alone, not including the outer boroughs, just 8 million people in New York City. You know, anonymity is beautiful in that regard. Here, man, I was pumping gas when I first moved here. I was pumping gas, and as I'm at the pump, my phone rings. Or dings, whatever it was, and I look at it, and it's a text message from somebody that I know of a picture of me at the gas pump.
That sounds about right.
And I'm like...
You're like, okay. They didn't even say hi, by the way.
No, it was just a picture of me at the gas pump, and I was like, okay. And they were like, oh, they just wanted to know if I knew you were there. Who? The person that took the picture. I'm purposely not saying names because I don't, you know, but you know, the person that took the picture of me at the gas pump and sent it to somebody else who wanted to make sure that they knew that where I was, and I was like,
okay,
really? You know,
sounds like girl problem. Nah,
well. Well,
it sounds like Eagle Pass ladies too.
Yeah, well, this is when I first got here.
I might get killed now for that.
No. This is when we first moved here, and when I first moved here with my now ex-wife. So whatever. Hell, it was one of her friends.
Yeah,
saw me at the gas pump.
I had a feeling.
Saw me at the gas pump, sent it to her, and she sent it to me. And you know,
no, man, like it's so weird because remember I was in Central Texas.
Yeah.
Literally moved back because of my wife. I was like, and then I've met a bunch of people that are living here because they moved back because of their wives.
That's crazy. That's insane.
No, but each one has like a valid point. So I mean,
Yeah.
and then if you want to be a providing husband, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
Of course. But my point, the whole point of the whole story is that even though it's 40,000+ people community, it's still a community. Everybody's involved in everything. Everybody knows everybody. And the things that you're doing with PopCon, you know, that's community. That's building the community. That's maybe not even building. It's more like strengthening the community. It's bringing people who already are here, who are already involved in each other's lives in one way, shape, or form, together.
Well, see, it's weird that you mentioned that because that was the point. The point, remember, was to give back to the people and then to showcase the strength of the people. Because I don't know, this is another idea that I've been trying to fight is they think that the power is not with them, like that they can't do anything. And what I'm trying to establish is like, look, I'm just a regular. I'm not a politician. I don't do crazy stuff either. I was like big. You know, I'm not a multimillionaire, at least not yet. I was like, so what they can do is relate. And so even though, I do wear a suit every now and then, I actually prefer the suit. I like the suit. Well, when I was in Central Texas, my business was already established.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a piece of advice that when I was working as an investigator in New York, when I first sat down with the deputy for that department that I was in, and he always wore a shirt and tie. You know, we didn't have to. We could have, you know, polos, khakis, whatever, jeans. That's if you're listening and you hear that's Charlie barking in the background, and I'm going to tell you why, because it's 8:30 Central Time, and Charlie knows that this is usually when we start to end the show.
Oh, okay.
And I'm serious. If you ever go back and watch the other shows, you know, at 8:30. He starts barking at the studio door to let me know that it's time to shut up and get their dinner ready, because I leave the show running inside in the living room for them so they can watch the show.
Oh.
And that's how he knows. He just knows. Anyway, so I sat down with him one day, and he said to me, I don't know why he brought it up, why it came up, but he just looked at me. He goes, "Remember this one thing. It's very important. He who wears the tie wears the power."
Oh, very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't fault you for wearing a suit. There's no reason not to.
I actually wear a red tie too. So you're not wrong on that. So that's very interesting that you mentioned it, because I read it, and it does make a difference. A lot of little things add up. And
it does, and that's why after he told me that, whenever I had to do an interview with the subject or witness to a matter, I always made sure, because we had them scheduled, you know, it wasn't like a random thing. I always made sure that was the day that I wore the shirt and tie. You know, it's just that projection of, I know what I'm doing. You know, I got my shit together.
Well, it's also a form of respect for people, because they see that, hey, you came to play.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You know, you're not just goofing around or something like that. So
I take this seriously.
Yeah. And so, like, today, the way I'm dressed is because I literally had to work out before I'm too close to my goal. I cannot give that up.
No.
So,
you're fine.
Yeah, usually I don't take, like, stuff in the evening, because I do a lot of, like, every Friday I have family night. So we watch movies. That's why I was like, I'm telling you, like, when you were talking about the movies, we know about that. I haven't seen that one that you said, but, yeah, we do watch it. But going with that instance, like, the whole point of it is to give back to the people, give the power back to them. And so I'm trying to showcase that to people, saying, hey, we have city officials, and they're doing their job right. We got to do our job. We got to back up certain things. So we got to make sure that things move forward in the direction that we wanted to make.
Right.
That, you know, it is, we're a republic. Most people forget this.
That's true.
I was like, so, and the power literally says we the people. So, and I believe, and I want to say I know that the people here in Eagle Pass, I want to say it's like about 90 to 95%, they're all good. I don't believe they're lazy either. It's just that I don't know where this idea came from, where, you know, they think they can't do things. And it's so odd to me, because I was like, in Central Texas, man, everybody thinks they can do everything. I'm assuming New York too.
It used to be that way. It's getting to become more dependent now on government. For things.
That's weird though. But I don't know where this thought process is coming from. I'm not pointing fingers. Maybe it's just we got lazy, or like in manner of understanding what we're supposed to be standing for. But no, like I want to showcase to the people, hey, look, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
That's right.
I was like, I'm not like, 6'5", blonde eyes. Blonde eye, I mean blue eyes, I was like, and it's not like I have like $1 million backing me up or anything like that. But I believe that, with the grace of God, and if He favors you, and you do the right things,
Agreed.
and then you follow the Constitution, you can stir the economy, and not only the economy, but just civilization in a direction that everybody wins.
Yeah.
From your kids to their grandkids to even you. I was like, so I want to showcase to the people. That's actually one of the reasons why we're already got the third one ready, August 15th, 16th. And I'm actually trying to do it better than I did the other 2 years too. Trying to host even meetings. I haven't been able to get it, man. I'm trying to get them good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want just to host the meeting and it looks all raunchy. I was like, I want them to see what Eagle Pass has to offer and that anybody can do it. It's not just me. So that's like the goal of this thing now. It's to showcase to the people, hey, we can bring in really good stuff here.
Yeah.
So even bringing Peter Dante, who would have thought any of these actors would come to Eagle Pass?
I didn't even know Eagle Pass existed until.
No, most of them say that, by the way. I was like, Dante actually was born in L.A., and he was born in a border town. So he actually felt at home here.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it was very interesting to see that.
Yeah.
And he was actually born into real poverty, like legitimate poverty.
Really?
Like,
Well,
yeah, we don't know poverty like that.
Yeah, I don't know too much about him. I mean, like I said, I know the name, but I don't know him personally. Like I couldn't say I know much about his background or anything like that.
No, he talked to me a little bit, and big ol' shout out to Dante because, like I said, he's a giving man. Like you would think that he has so much and he would stop giving. Man, that guy outworks even me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wakes up working, he's almost asleep working. Like he'll literally pass out while he's working. It's just crazy to see like that. Even though he already has that type of capital and he's got it set, every single time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's very it's a different caliber that you end up noticing. That's like, hey, we're kind of so relaxed here too. So like,
True that.
really, anybody that does anything here, you can get it done. There's not that much competition.
That's true. That is true. I will say that I like Eagle Pass. I do. Since I've been living here, I haven't had any bad interactions with government like at all. Like everybody's been super helpful. Different, obviously. It's an adjustment from living in the city, like New York, compared to this.
It's like night and day, man.
It's very, very different.
Stayed in Austin for a whole second. I do like the pace they have there. It's quick. I like that. I actually prefer things moving quickly.
We know, yeah.
But I also love the country. So
Yeah.
I love also not being around people. I understand you. And when you said it, I think you said it in the other podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand you 100%, man.
Yeah,
Like, it's me too.
Sometimes you just have to decouple from everything and just.
We stayed in Salado for 2 weeks with the fam. I was pushing business during that time frame anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But we stayed in Airbnb, and it was in the country.
Nice.
Salado's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gotta check it out. All right, let's move on to the Golden Vox
Oh.
because Charlie is gonna continue to bark and I gotta feed him and it's almost time. So let's get on to the Golden Vox. Now the Golden Vox is
The Golden Vox is a voice. It's supposed to stand for Golden Voice, and it's supposed to be for the businesses of Eagle Pass. Now I wanted to be Texas as we grow, but I had envisioned that in the beginning because I'm gonna say a little story. I was like, Chocha's Barbecue?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember it when it was in the food trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Big ol' shout out to Chocha, by the way. He uses everything for my energy company. This is why I always boast him. Besides that, his food is actually legit.
It is. It's very good. It is.
Well, there was a time frame.
And if he ever wants to send any samples over to the show so we could do it, think about that.
Well,
I'd be happy to oblige.
he's actually part of the Golden Vox. So maybe you might go to him or he might come to you, one or the other. Or it could just be, over media or whatever. But so I created the Golden Vox for that because, like I said, the story was with Chocha. One of my coworkers back then said, hey, do you like barbecue? I said, I don't think you know who you're talking to. I was like,
All right. before you go any further than that one, I have to put this out there. If you are listening to this show and you do not like barbecue, turn it off. You're not welcome here.
Well, okay.
Oh
so,
wow! Look at everybody hanging up.
Yeah, no, nobody's
I'm
hanging
kidding.
up. No. I was like, so no. When he told me that, I was of course I'm like a connoisseur on that. Is that how you pronounce it?
Connoisseur, yeah.
Connoisseur, yeah. Like it is insane. Like I've gone to a lot of places. Like I said, I've been blessed. I've been favored. So I've gone and eaten at like I don't know if you ever gone to before it closed down. So you might have missed out on this, but it was Valentina's in Austin.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Man, it was really good. Like now I ate their brisket. I heard that supposedly their tacos were better, but I mean when I'm there, I'm gonna eat brisket. And then the one place I haven't tried yet is Snow's, but I've tried the one in Belton. I've tried also Frank's. Those are supposed to be the top ones in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can't stand in line at 3 a.m. Like I can work, but I'm not.
I was gonna say you're up anyway. What's the difference?
Well, because I don't. No, not for food. Like and okay, if I can maybe hire someone to do it for me, I'd go with that. But now, but
Your own personal DoorDasher.
well, there's 3 of them here. Okay, there's 3 barbecue places here that are like legit. That they're like, they got establishments and stuff like that.
Right.
Not counting the other ones, because there's a bunch of them. A lot of
Oh,
people.
yeah,
here,
I know,
yeah.
yeah.
So, I'll start with Wagon Wheel. So when Choche was in his food truck, they said Wagon Wheel was the best.
Mm-hmm.
And the first exposure I had for barbecue here was actually Orly's, and then it was Choche's.
Okay.
So like I said, now again I'm going with pronunciation. My palate, is that what it is? Palate. There you go. So my palate, literally is for top tier meat. Like I've had, like I said, I've had the pleasure to have these type of meats. So when I went to Orly's, I said, their big thing that they have there that's good is their potato.
Okay.
Their potato was great. And so when they showed me Choches, I was like, this is top tier. I was like, I can't even believe this is an Eagle Pass. Like, and I told Choche, I said, Choche, how come Wagon Wheel's number 1? Oh, well, they work more with the city and stuff like that. So, they...
More promotion.
Yeah, more marketing.
Right.
By the way, this is why marketing's important.
Exactly.
So what I told Choche was like, well, I'm going to tell everyone that I know that yours is legit because I've eaten at these other places. I'm not saying Wagon Wheel's not legit, but whenever I became a big aficionado for, Choches, and I started eating there almost every other weekend. And then there was one Sunday he was closed. Remember, this was when he had his food truck.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, you know what? Everybody keeps saying that Wagon Wheel's awesome. Let me go to Wagon Wheel. I went to Wagon Wheel, and maybe they just had the wrong batch. Maybe they just had biggest key's consistency. As you get up in the tiers, they don't care. Is it consistent?
Right.
Is it the same every single time? I was like, and maybe I guess that was the bad day that they had there.
Which happens.
Yeah. That's why. So I'm not talking bad on them. It's just also like there's qualifications to be the best. Like I said, there's you got to do it consistently. That's one of them. 2
Right.
is the meat has to be moist. Even if you put it in the microwave, when it comes out, it can't be dry.
Or chewy.
Or chewy. And that day I had it, and it was like everybody. My kids they also rate stuff, by the way. So, and then my wife rated it too. Now what I will say is that Wagon Wheel had really good turkey. Because I ate all the meats.
Okay.
Anywhere I go, I always eat the meats. I don't care how expensive it is. I'll eat the meats. I mean, I go, like in San Antonio, they have El Asador. They have some, I think it's a golden scorpion, gold flaked. 2 tomahawks, I think it's put into a scorpion-looking thing.
Interesting.
Delicious, by the way.
I'm sure.
So,
but
but it's like about $300. So.
Tomahawks alone or about
Okay, by the way, the kids had that. My kids had that.
He's over here. He's talking about all this food, that stuff that he gets. He's bragging about how much money he spends on these things.
No, it's just
I'm over here struggling, trying to pay my escrow, my mortgage.
No, I'm just saying, like I said, I've been blessed, and I spend it on certain things. I don't spend it I don't have a fancy car, man, but I do eat at fancy places. There's a give and take.
Of course. No,
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah,
you.
I know, but I'm just saying so everybody understands that. Like, I really do like food. That's why I have to work out. I'm just like you guys, man. I'm definitely. do a little bit more disciplines. That's about it. But I told Choche, I said, no, man, like, I tried them all, and yours is the best. Like, it should not be voted as you're not even. So I went on a little side quest just to tell everybody about Choche's. And that was marketing. And I did it through my solar company. My solar companies actually partner up with him. And so anytime anybody goes solar with us, they get a big meal from Choche's.
Oh, nice.
His staple items that he has on there.
That's awesome.
It's like about $120 worth.
That's a nice gift.
Yeah, and that's like I said, a thank you. And then like I told him, man, there's a lot of profits that go in solar when done correctly. So then he got his establishment. I helped him with the energy to keep the rates low. He has panels too. We help him with his energy bills and any questions that he has and stuff like that. So, but ultimately, his is like one of the best. And this there's a lot of this here. I don't want to say what you make. There's a lot of that here.
My audience knows.
Yeah, okay, good. I was like, there's a lot of people here that have top quality stuff, man. Like a lot. And so, for example, Maitos, I think would have been the second. He passed away. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he passed away. So his was different though. His barbecue was sugary. So it was a lot sweeter. Okay, so mine is, I don't really like sweet, but the kids do. And he actually said, I don't compete with Choche. I just do it because I know the kids like it too. So I do it. It's like a family meal. Yeah, he does his own thing. So as to not to compete and not to be anything, but the way Choche makes his brisket, it's like science is behind that.
No,
stuff.
I've had his brisket. It is delicious. Like
top tier, man. That's,
anytime somebody says that's where they're going to get food, I'm like, oh, okay.
At one point when he would do competitions, he got number 3.
Yeah, I heard
in Texas. Yeah. No, I saw his. He has a throne room, bro.
Well, he deserves it.
All his trophies, mostly first and second.
Nice.
And I was like, whoa, do people know about this? I was like, because if they knew, I'd be like, there's no doubt that you would just be number 1. How do you know you're number 1? You compete. And then random people decide if you were good from different areas in Texas. When he had more time because he was on the food truck, that's what he would do. Now he has an establishment. He can't really leave, but he'll leave once or twice a year, and he still wins.
But that's good, though. That's also good for his business as well. You know, you're exposing more people to your product.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to help him with the marketing side. I was like, I know you don't believe in too much of that, but you need it. I was like, and I'll back you up, bro. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be like.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
you know, and so, by the way, the only reason I was saying that story was because
Golden Vox.
The Golden Vox, I ended up adding him on the Golden Vox, and he started talking because there's some people are like, well, he doesn't open on these days. I was like, do you even know how hard it is to do what he does? You're asking to kill him.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you remember the Golden Goose story?
Yes.
Okay, you don't kill your golden goose,
no, you
man.
don't, no. Exactly.
And you got to give the voice to them. So that's what I ended up doing. I ended up giving them, and then it got to a point where it got really good. Big ol' shout out to Ruben, by the way. Ruben helped me establish that because I don't have the voice for it or the time because that's a lot. Like you said, I stretched myself thin. So I spread the wealth out. Ruben was the one that was doing it. But we came to a few disagreements because there's a few. The Golden Vox is supposed to be for businesses only. And you're supposed to keep it in those terms. So let's just say Ruben had different ideas. And I was like, bro, that's not what the Golden Vox is about. I was like, that's something else. So we have to part ways in a friendly way. And no, we respect each other. We still talk to each other. We actually talk a lot more than we did before. No, because you get to see that only because you have disagreements doesn't mean like.
Of course, that's healthy. You can't always agree with everybody. It just doesn't work.
No, and like I said, everyone's different. So everyone brings something else to the table. Yeah. So like we've been helping out a bunch of community events. This is where I wanted the Golden Vox to go to on the business side is help the businesses establish themselves. Say, hey, this is our side of it.
Right.
Like, I don't open on these days because, well, I go with my kids. Like, you know, or, hey, I have a life too. Like,
you do need to have time for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to burn out, and then the product suffers from that.
And it all depends on also the tier because some people, like, see the product and they're like, hey, this is so good. You could easily make it into a multi-million-dollar tier. But they're like, no, I'm comfortable here. So I don't want any more. I was like, and this is where I think a lot of people also don't understand that some of these businesses reached that level that they want to be in, and they don't want to be in it. So just be happy that they're even producing that, because that's a delicacy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of businesses like that on here, but just to cut it short on that part, yeah, the Golden Vox, and well, we looked at you.
That's right. So that was our announcement here that we were going to end the show with. That starting, I think, this weekend, or is it next week?
This weekend. It starts this weekend.
This weekend, I will be adding the Golden Vox to the catalog of Joe Rooz shows, and so we'll be hosting our first guests this coming Saturday. So we're excited about that. We're looking forward to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's another part of this partnership that Danny and I are getting into, and it's an exciting thing. It truly is, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meet more people here in the community. You know, when I first started this podcast, it was really, I wanted to do just something related to the local community, but it kind of took off on its own. And one thing I've learned when you're doing stuff like this is you got to let it grow. You got to let it go where it wants to go. You know, we've had some good successes. You know, we're still growing, we're still building, we're still trying to get there. And I think that the partnership that we're going into right now is going to be huge, not only for me, but it'll also be big for the people that are going to be involved with us as we're going along here. This is it's really a privilege to be doing it, and I really appreciate that. You know, you decided to come on board here with us and take us on here.
Well, you're going to have big business owners now come and talk that are literally leading the way here in Eagle Pass.
Yep.
And they're going to say their side of things.
Yep.
And so I feel like that's very important. By the way, that's why we had a bunch of listeners, because the Golden Vox was for the Golden Voice for the businesses, but also to showcase that anybody can build a business.
Mm-hmm.
They're very much needed. And if you thought you couldn't do it, remember, it's giving back to the people.
That's right.
It's saying the power's with you. If you want to build whatever you want to build, whatever crazy idea you have, hopefully it's legal. But whatever crazy idea you have, even the illegal ones, they do them anyways. By the way, just letting everybody know, it's hard either way. So let's just do the legal.
Each side has its own perks and its own downfalls. So.
Well, no, you're going to still work, and it's still hard. If you think that just doing the illegal one is going to be easy, you're wrong. So anyways, but it's to showcase that to the people, give the power back to the people. Say, hey, wow, look, Chochis did it. I mean, I guess I can do it too.
That's right.
Or say, hey, you know what? Now I understand why I can never do what he does. So let me go support him, because I want his top tier meat here in Eagle Pass. I was like, I don't want it to go out of business.
Right.
And that's the voice that people get. There's a bunch of them that we had. We had like about 25 of them that were already saying it.
That's awesome.
And so, and so with you on there, I think it adds to it. So, also we have a huge involvement. That in essence brings you also different type of clientele. Like I'm bringing you the VA.
Yep.
By the way, that was Mike Chop.
That was the
We
VA.
can close out with that. So
All
there's a bunch of community events that Eagle Pass has that most people don't know. By the way, here's the issue. You ready for this one? I am just building another company, and it's a marketing side. I'm finding solutions for Eagle Pass.
Okay.
I was like, and I'm putting them so that way people can see them, and then I'm hoping people will copy it and make it better than mine. So that way I don't have to do it. And then the solution's provided. I was like, remember, it's the power back to the people.
That's right.
I'm planning on making a marketing one because, like Mike Chavez already said, he's going to be your next guest, by the way. And he's actually going to be on your legitimate show. It's not the Golden Vox. He's not a business owner. I was
Okay.
like,
That's fine.
At least not that I know of yet. I was like,
Either way.
yeah,
that's
but
fine.
here's his card, by the way. You can barely see his stuff, but it's Miguel
pass it over.
Chavez, veteran service officer.
Here, pass it over.
Oh, here you go.
I got the better lights on this side.
Thank you. Yeah. So that way everybody can see it. We're doing.
It'd be nice if I held it the right way.
Well, yeah. Well, the marketing company that we're establishing here is to showcase marketing is needed, especially when you want to help events. So there's a few events that are happening here in Eagle Pass that nobody knows of because there is no marketing company and nobody tells everybody, hey, you got to bang the doorbells and go like, yo, this is what's happening here. All eyes here. I was like, so one of the events is the VA food drive. So I think I had sent you a flyer on that.
You did.
Okay.
Somewhere.
And so.
Oh, no, you sent it to me through Instagram, so it has all the little annotations and stuff, so I can't put it up there with other people's faces on it.
I'll give you the PDF format. So, and then we're asking for help from businesses. So volunteers. There's different ways that you can do it. And we're actually going to come up with a flyer here shortly. But one is you can tell friends and family members just, hey, here's the VA form. All they got to do is show up to the event. The event's going to be on November 13th, 2025, from 7 a.m. till 12 p.m.
Okay.
And it's going to be at the Maverick County Food Pantry, 1823 South Veterans Boulevard, in front of Memorial.
Okay.
You know where the tax office is.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and Miguel Chavez has been trying to do this for like about 2 to 3 years, and it's to bring in something even bigger, which is the VA clinic.
Mm-hmm.
And it all starts with little things that the community can do.
Right.
By the way, some of these bigger politicians have known about it, but this is what I want to tell the people. They can know as much as they want, and they can have all the power they want, but until the people move, nothing happens.
That's
And
right.
this is a great example because this has been here for about 2 to 3 years, and Chavez needs a lot of help. So I told him straight up, I said, hey, bro, I'm going to back you up on this. I'm going to go to everything I got, all my marketing, my companies, everything. They're going to back you up because vets are extremely important. This is not a left-leaning thing. This is not a right-leaning thing. This is an American thing.
Exactly.
And so we got to do what is right, and it's
Exactly.
to support them. So, yeah, we're my companies are the ones that are helping do this push and this movement here. And I told Chavez, I said, look, I'm going to back you up from now all the way till we get it all done, and even after that. I was like, because I used to do this when I was in Central Texas. I know. It's a lot bigger in Central Texas, though. So, oh, well, then we're going to do that. We're going to help out with that. We do need donations. So I'll be giving you my number so they can go and talk to me. It starts as little as $100.
Okay.
There's different tiers that we have, and then it goes as high as $2,500 plus. I am in that category. So, you know, it's to push for this. And then there's another event, and I think you had him, Paco.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was on last Wednesday.
Yeah, here you go. So we're also helping push that out because I did not know that we never had a what's it called, a Halloween downtown. I thought we did host one, but I guess we never did. This is the first one.
I think this is the first one that the library is getting involved with. There has been a Halloween event. I think he mentioned that once before, but this is going to be much bigger than what that Halloween event was.
Well, and what this is where I want to say, what better places to secure our children where it's safe, and not only that, but help businesses grow than the mall downtown. I was
Right.
like, and then the community still gets involved. So it could be one of those things where everyone's involved, from businesses to the homes, the civilians, all the way to,
That's right.
you know, and it's a beautiful thing when you see everybody moving like that.
Well, if you have this in a PDF, send it to me. So
Yeah, I'm gonna send you that too.
That's why I can do the graphic on it.
And then another guest that you're gonna have on here that's also gonna come on your show, but also on the Golden Vox, is for the Rotary Club. A lot of people don't know that we have a Rotary Club. There was a big event that we had, and this literally is like an ethics committee for those that don't know. I was like, so there is one in Eagle Pass,
Yeah, there is.
and I feel like it's very much needed here. So you're gonna get to interview the president of him, and he owns businesses, by the way, too. So yeah, no, big events that are happening. Yeah, I went to that one. They were showcasing homes, beautiful homes, by the way. But there's a lot of events. Like they have a big golfing tournament. I didn't even know that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. And so that's, by the way, that's what my company.
If it's not miniature golf, I don't know anything about it.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of big business owners go to that.
Yeah.
And so this is where I'm like trying to get the community involved. Like I said, they might know these things and they might have these policies in play, but nothing happens until we do something.
That's true.
That's
Very right.
America. That's America. So, and then one last thing. I don't know if you heard about this one, but there's a lot of people complaining about the food in the school systems.
Yeah, you and I had talked about this briefly,
Yeah.
and that stems all the way back to the Obama administration.
Yes.
And that horrible decision they made to make inedible one grade above dog food.
All
lunch.
it takes is for the community to come together.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. I'm hoping the people get to understand that that's where the real power is at.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think all these things are going to be great. I think this is going to bring a lot of really positive attention to Eagle Pass, and hopefully some additional revenues. And
Well, look, we're a lot wealthier than we were before. I can't see the justification. If the budget was lower, then I'd be like, okay, I get it. But it's actually higher, so I was like, yo, where's it going? Like,
well, when I say wealthier, I'm not talking about the government. I'm talking about the people,
oh, the people.
the community. to get more opportunities into the community, more job opportunities, more businesses investing in the community.
Well, that's the thing.
All of those things.
If we bring in the VA clinic and these food drives, it brings attention, brings in military. That's additional revenue.
That's right.
I was like, and it'll bring in extra jobs too. Now, if we also talk about the food, like for example, like Peters was telling me about this too, real quick, just so I can end it. But Peters was telling me, hey, we can't even offer our services because of that law. I was like, so it took $400 away from us every morning, which that's people that Peters could have employed.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and that money would stay here instead of wherever it's going, because we're obviously buying it from somewhere.
Right.
But it's not from here. So what we want to do is stuff like, hey, we want to buy it from here and give our kids an actual good choice, an American choice.
But I agree, because again, it's a grade above dog food. I mean, I think you and I were talking that the hospital, the prisons get better quality food than the kids get.
So I think it was $1.54 compared to like 50 or 54 cents for the. It's
pathetic.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Completely flipped around, if not more.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dannie Mendoza, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you being here tonight.
Totally, there was a lot to talk about.
And listen, next time you come on, because this is going to be a regular thing. This isn't going to be isn't a one-off. This is going to be at least twice a month. You're going to come on, and we'll get all that squared away. This way, you're the only one. This way, we can actually get more into some of the conversation. Actually, spend 2 hours talking about whatever we want to talk about. Or more. It doesn't matter to me. But Charlie might get upset. But
well, no, I understand. I gotta go home with my kids too. So
I hear you. All right, so let's start to wrap this up, right, folks? So thank you, Dannie, again for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
That's a pleasure. Folks, don't forget, head over to the website joerooz.com. That's joerooz.com. When you get over there, sign up for the programming announcements email list that we are putting together. All right, that is it's free. It means it doesn't cost you anything. So it's free. You sign yourself up for that thing. We're not going to sell your information. We're not going to share your information. It all stays locked away with us here. And we're not going to sell you stuff either. I'm not going to send you little pictures of, hey, buy this and buy that. No, I'm not going to do that. This is all about programming. So what does that mean? That means, well, we have a guest in the studio tonight. Well, there's an email for that. The gentleman from the VA is going to be on the show. There's an email for that. We're going to be sending out emails regarding programming. That's it. We're not going to spam you. We're not going to send you a bunch of stuff you don't want. It's just programming. So go to the website. Little pop-up will come up on the home screen. Fill out the form. Get yourself on the mailing list. All right. And if you want to follow us on our socials, you can follow us on Twix at Joe Rooz, Truth Social. If you want to know anything that this administration is doing, get on Truth Social. Truth Social is where they post it first, and sometimes only. All right. So Truth Social, check it out at Joe Rooz there. You want to check out a great platform that gets really little attention, Minds, M-I-N-D-S, minds.com. We are going to have the co-CEO of the company for Minds on the show in November. So make sure you get on board with that, minds.com. You can find us there at Joe Rooz. Been on there for years. Great platform. If you want to check us out on Facebook, you can go over to Joe Rooz Show. Instagram is not Joe Rooz. It's not Joe Rooz. So with that, basically, what happened was I got banned before I even finished opening the account. So I used the same email address, the same phone number, just put the word not in front of my name, and they let me work. And then TikTok, joe.rooz, which I don't really get on TikTok much, to be honest with you. I think there's something really weird about a guy that's on TikTok, so I don't mess around with it too much. Getter at Joe Rooz as well. Shout outs to our executive producers, Wayne Rankin, Rosanna Rankin, Carolina Jimenez, Marissa Lee, and Anonymous Angela. Thank you guys for all that you do. Your time, your talent, your treasure. Appreciate everything that you guys do. So thank you so much for it. Also want to give a very special thank you to John Seeley, who sent over a donation yesterday of $25. Thank you so much for that, sir. Greatly appreciated. And as I said, all the donations that we get, anything that we get through the GoFundMe for the escrow shortage, any donations we come from the audience, all is going to the escrow shortage. We want to get this thing cleared away. So if you have the means to do it, we would appreciate it if you would consider that. If you want to help us out with donations, a one-time donation, any amount, recurring donation, any amount. If you want to be a producer of the show, associate producer starts at $17.76 a month. Producer is $18.36 a month, and executive producer is $25 or more every month. You all get the shout out on every show. You get included in all the show notes, any emails and stuff that we send out, because you are producers of the show. Your donations help us do this. So you get the credit as the producer for it. And the executive producers actually get to come on the show with us, like we do every Wednesday with our Wednesday with Wayne segment. He comes on and talks about all the stuff that he likes to do. So we look forward to working with you guys in that way. If you want to donate cryptos, you can do that also. All of our wallet information is on the website as well. And a special thank you to the folks that are listening on the modern podcast apps like Podcast Guru, Fountain.fm, True Fans, such, because you guys are streaming sats to us, which is fantastic. And sats are basically just micropayments of Bitcoin. Pennies, really, when you think about it. But every little bit that we get helps, so we appreciate that tremendously. All you have to do is just hook up your crypto wallet to the app, and you can start streaming the sats to us. Lets us know you're out there. All right, and look, I'm an old guy, and if I was able to do it, you can do it too. Trust me, it's easy. All right, modernpodcastapps.com, podcastindex.org. All right, I think that should just about do it. You hear Charlie howling in the background there. So, with that said, thanks you again for taking the time to be with us tonight. Head over to the website, joerooz.com, joerooz.com. Send us over any questions, comments, cares, concerns. Let us know what you're thinking. All right, folks, make Texas independent again. Go podcasting, keep a steady stride, and more important, keep talking. Good night, folks.
Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. Keep smiling until then.
Who cares about the clouds if we're together?
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails.